Fought the dark days, hid in the shadows, but now I'm standing. Now I know. Battled the demons, thought I was through, but there's a new dawn, hope anew. Light at the end, life's worth living. Hold on, my friend, keep on giving. Feels like a circle, round and round, but trust in the morning, new strength is found. Embrace the journey, yes I can. Light at the end, life's worth living. Hold on, my friend, keep on giving, I can.
Brainiacs, yeah man.
Embrace the journey. Yes, I
Tell them, Brains, you ain't afraid of anything and you ain't gonna run from nobody. Wow. Monday. It is Monday. And we are gonna have some great conversations, no doubt about it. We're joined tonight by a man that is, I hope, don't end up as a TI, like really a TI, like we know a lot of people like this end up. I pray he's gonna be saved. Tonight, myself and Mr. Jesse Beltran, we're gonna discuss the war on your mind and the targeted individual. Brainiacs, if you guys do not know what a TI is, then you obviously haven't been around the Matrix. Because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of us, we already know what a TI is. But tonight, me and Jesse are going to dive deep into this. And we're going to get the... See, you guys know I'm a hypnotist. I'm a hypnotherapist. But Jesse is a master hypnotherapist. As well as he's been studying the Havana Syndrome. He has been studying all of the targeted individual stuff. Very, very, very interesting topic. Brainiac. So on the other side of this, please stay with us. Grab a cup of coffee. Spend the next hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours with us. After the first hour, we will be taking phone calls. If you wish to participate with Jesse and myself, the numbers for the broadcast and the studio are in the description of the broadcast chat. Okay, we'll drop that too. Everything is right there for you. Jesse's links to the venue, links to the event coming up, the description as well as the numbers. So you guys do not go anywhere. Share this broadcast, share this podcast, and we will catch you on the other side of this intro. And welcome aboard, Department of Defense.
We're living in a world of smoke and mirrors, lost inside the twisted game. But deep within we feel
hello,
the shivers
DOD.
of a truth they cannot
Sit back, take notes.
Lights and coded lies try to keep us hypnotized, but the field begins to tear, and we're breaking out of their snare. Reality is spinning, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand illusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind, breaking the fabric of reality's hold. We're the matrix minds, brave and bold. In the digital storm we stand tall, unveiling secrets matrix they can't hide. The power crumbles, we watch it fall as we tear through their divide. Electric whispers in the night try to keep us from the light, but our spirits won't be chained through the chaos we've reclaimed. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the
Get back in that body, right?
breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix, the matrix of minds.
Welcome aboard, Jeff.
Leave the lies behind, breaking the fabric of reality's hold. With the matrix minds brave and bold. We're the warriors of the digital age, writing our own story, turning the page. Through the circuits we find our way. In the matrix we'll seize the day. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand illusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind, breaking the fabric of reality's hold. We're the matrix minds, brave and bold. Welcome to the matrix of minds. Together we rise, we're the ones who'll find. In this digital realm, we're taking a stand. We're the matrix minds, hand in hand.
Yeah, looky. We are with Mr. Jesse Beltran. What's up, my friend? Welcome to the Matrix. You're like watching. You're watching the intro, and you're like, I was watching you. Now you realize there's a lot that goes on behind this show, huh? There.
Yes, it is. Great job. Fabulous intro. Love the music.
Thank you. I need to try to turn you up. I need to try to turn you up a little bit. But I think it's on my end, the studio end. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So you are new. You are definitely new to the Matrix broadcast. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a friend of mine. I watched your show a little bit. I kind of like skipped through it, like how we do. But nevertheless, you were with Penny Shepard and
Correct.
David Zublik. We're friends with them guys,
On
man.
Awake Nation.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you are? Good.
Of course. Penny's a TI. Penny's one of Penny's one of my MK girls that come to me years ago, man. Years ago. I met Penny through I want to say I met Penny through the targeted individual conference or something like that. I was holding. I used to run not a Facebook group, but a forums, like a web portal for TIs. So that's what I'm saying. We're not no stranger to this topic, but I've noticed that you come through with a whole lot of information backed up with. Well, we're going to share it over here. Documentation.
Correct.
Yeah, man. That's the difference.
So,
documentation.
Documentation and proof.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Jesse, let me ask you, let's start like I do with everybody. What got you involved in this topic? What got you involved in the targeted individual as well as I don't even know where to start first. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm really interested in that, but yet I don't even know where to begin.
Why don't I help you out? My name's Jesse Beltran. I'm a retired firefighter paramedic from the city of Sacramento. I've held various positions to include I was part owner of the third largest ISP in the state of California in the early 90s when high-speed data and fiber wasn't available. We implemented in the city of Sacramento direct line of sight microwave technology, so high bandwidths to corporations who otherwise couldn't utilize it. A little bit familiar with the microwave spectrums. Also, I was the president of an organization called the International Center Against the Abuse of Covert Technologies. How that came about is I met a gentleman by the name of Dr. John Hall in Texas. He and I started talking about this topic where he was seeing individuals who were experiencing some where they were hearing acute onset of strange sounds and started having symptoms where they had headaches, nausea, vertigo, started having vision loss, hearing loss with electrical shocks. And so he said they complained about hearing they believed that they were being targeted with some type of frequency. So he was doing preliminary RF scans periodically with these individuals. They were coming up. I asked him, why isn't anything done about it? So you think about this in 2010, 2011. And during that time, if you were to go to your primary care physician and complain about you were automatically having some type of psychiatric disorder or some psychosis. So I decided to put together with a couple other gentlemen the International Center for Technology, call it ICT, and I wanted to create a mechanism where we can take these subjective complaints, turn it into, and had a meeting in Sacramento, California, where we were just advertised for people who have the symptoms. Please come see us. We'd love to talk to you. And I thought maybe a handful of people would show up, but 100 people showed up. They all had the exact same complaints with very, very little communication. I knew we were onto something, so I decided in the next meeting to start doing preliminary RF scanning on a large scale. And we held a meeting in Davis, California. During that meeting, 300 people showed up. And again, everyone having the same type of symptoms. Recently, the Department of Homeland Security in March of this year held a hearing with regards to the Havana Syndrome, or anomalous health incidences, which is in vogue term used today. And a gentleman by the name of retired Lieutenant Greg Egrin testified there that this phenomenon is real and is happening here in the homeland. But a lot of your listeners are probably savvy to this, but for those who aren't, the Havana Syndrome supposedly started in 2016 at our U.S. Embassy and was afflicting our diplomats and CIA agents.
Are you seeing that?
It was afflicting the best of the best. Our greatest minds in our federal government, our CIA agents, and including here in the home. Colonel Egrin also testified that this phenomenon is happening on every continent exception, and that's okay. So what I found in our study initially is that the majority of victims that were afflicted were Caucasian females, in their 40s, recently single, widowed, or divorced. They were highly educated. And then it dropped from there. It was Caucasian males, then African American females. I thought it was interesting.
You know what? Here, this is funny, not funny, Jess. This is what happens whenever they, whenever you're too over target. I'm just telling you, this is what happens, especially here on this broadcast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of you. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of your smiling face, and I'm going to put it right down below me because your audio, you're fading in, and you're fading out. You're fading in.
So is yours. So is yours.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to again, trying to take calls. I can already tell that this topic is well over target. Very much so over target. So what we're gonna do is I'm literally just hang tight. I'm going to. You got a laptop. You got a. In fact, let me try to do something here.
We're on laptop.
Yeah, just for giggles, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right real quick. I'm gonna stop recording right real quick. Stop recording live stream on that one. Just bear with me, bro. Just trust me. Please have faith.
You're coming in clear now.
All right, have faith in me. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me Let me just change what's called a VPN. There we go.
Uh-huh.
All right, DOD, track that shit. All right, where were we? By the way, you're now streaming
we're
live
talking
from
about
Portugal.
Okay. That's awesome. So, as I was stating, that the majority of the victims were Caucasian females in the 40s or greater, highly educated, and it went to Asian males, African American females. So we knew we were onto something, and then we decided to take it to the Midwest, and ended up with the exact same results. So we got into the Chicago area, and then all the way to the East Coast, where it flipped just a little bit, where African Americans were the primary targets. Asians.
Oh boy, oh boy.
There was a
That didn't work, Jess. It's okay. It's all right.
didn't work.
It didn't work. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Hang on one second. I'm going to.
I was concerned this was.
Oh yeah, it's all right. It's okay. Again, it just means that you're over target, bro. You're all right. What I want you to do is because we're gonna take a trip around the world. I need you to turn your video off for me. Just go ahead and turn your video off. There you go. Perfect. I'm gonna do something here. Hang on one second. Because again, this happens. Okay, so just relax. Screenshot 1, screenshot 2 should be right there. Mr. Jesse. All right, we're just gonna put that there. All right, just like that. All right, now talk. Hang on. Let me move us around the world here. Okay. One second. All right. Now that should be better. Man. Okay. My apologies. But again, I'm used to this.
Oh, you don't have to apologize, brother. I'm used to this too.
Yes, we're used to this. we see. This is the thing. The matrices of. I don't really want to use the word, but I'm going to use the word fuckery. That's what they're doing to you. Okay, so again, that just means you're over target. So keep going.
Do you want me to keep talking?
Absolutely.
Video on?
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, I was in Virginia. I was invited to Virginia to see a group of folks, about 100 or so. They were all military subcontractors. They were aware that I was doing this RF testing, and they wanted me to come and see them. And every one of them was having the exact same complaints as the Havana Syndrome or HI diplomats, or CIA agents, become afflicted with this. But during that meeting, I decided to test everyone for high suggestibility. And so with the group there in the military subcontractors, I said, if I were to ask you if you're highly suggestible, would you raise your hand? And no one raised their hand. And I wasn't. Then I asked if anyone was, they didn't think they were suggestible. And then the majority of people raised their hand. So I took the most intimidating person in the room to speak with me in the center of the room. The gentleman was a good-looking gentleman, 6'6", about 260 pounds, very fit. He was African American, and interesting enough, he was a military subcontractor for the AIDS virus. He had his hands held together, and we continued to talk. And before we were done, I asked him to please try and pull his arms apart, and he couldn't. And just a big, strong gentleman, and everyone was just flabbergasted. They weren't sure what the heck just happened. So he got a little bit of anxiety and having an ab reaction, so I immediately put him to sleep, and then started giving him some positive affirmations. Now that you realize that you may be highly suggestible, first line of defense, recognizing that this may be attribute of you.
They really don't like this guy, do they? They really don't like Jesse. Jesse, I'm going to call you right back on. You know what? Let's go straight to and through the system. Okay? I'm just going to call you in a whole different way. Go ahead. I'm going to have you disconnect from the studio and just be prepared.
Okay.
Be prepared for another way of methodology of me calling you. Okay? Because again, it's up and down, fade in, I I didn't really say welcome aboard the broadcast Department of Defense, but nevertheless, welcome aboard. Jess, I'll call you right back. I promise you. Okay?
Okay.
Just hang tight.
Sounds good, brother.
All right.
Okay.
Got to absolutely love this. This is the camaraderie and the things in which we have to deal with, especially whenever you're over target. This is another reason why I've got his face down below me in a method to where they can't do anything with it. So I'm gonna have to call him straight up and just a whole other way. I did, but I didn't think that this was gonna happen. But nevertheless, I was anticipating it. I definitely was anticipating it, Brains. Let's see, Brad Olson. I'm gonna go over here, move this. I've got to move this, move this. Where's my screen at? Yada yada yada. Again, sorry about this, guys. It happens whenever you're too over target. And Mr. Beltran seems to be pretty over target. It's gonna be all right, folks. It's gonna be all right. Let me get to where I can call him. Unless it's not gonna let me call him. Oh my. That's just perfect. It's not. It's great. It's not gonna let me call him. Wow. Jesse, what have you done? Wow. I absolutely cannot believe this. This is quite crazy. I've never had anybody that I simply could not call. Unreal. Let me try this. Again, it doesn't, like Mr. Brad said in the chat, I'll be calling you from Kakistan. It's pretty right. It's pretty about right. I also noticed that the feed just quit. God, gotta love it, man. I'm having an absolutely great time here. It's called Flank. Is that what you said, Wayne? I see you, buddy. I'm trying. There's absolutely, other than having Jesse call the broadcast studio, there's no way. You guys definitely did a deal on a number on us here. This way. Let me try something here. Try something different. Again, just bear with me, guys, because this does happen. Nope. Jesse. Looking up another way. And again, having to go through all of this definitely does not help matters. Maybe if he answers this, I don't know. Oh, it didn't even let me message him. That's great. That's great right there. Didn't even let me message him. Let's see if he gets that. There we go. Yep, it's not letting me. All right. Shit. We're going to have to do landline. Absolutely going to have to do landline. Unbelievable. Oh my God. And we'll get everything up and running. Again, this is crazy that well, where there is a will, my friends, there's a way. Let me get him the studio number. And I'm just going to have to call that way. There we go. Give me a second. And then the audio that I'm going to be able to share. Brad Anderson, did someone mention COVID? See, there you go. It's. Oh yeah, they're even killing the studio. Great. You know what? This is the problem that we've got with people in powerful places that truly take complete advantage of it. That's all I will say. This is unreal. All right, Jess. Let me see. I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna copy an invitation here, bro, and see. They ain't gonna kill this one. So bear with me. Go over here. Go over here. Where's the number? I'm gonna give it to you right now. Access ID 136426. There we go. All right. Number Canada, United States. You go. There we go. There's two numbers. We'll use this one right here, Jess. Coming at you, buddy. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. However, that's what I guess whenever an alternative media broadcast starts reaching 10 million, 11 million, 12 million people, they seem to have an issue with it. That's what I'm saying. I've already bounced from West China to, well, I didn't go to Kakistan like Mr. Anderson was saying, but nevertheless, we're trying to get this up here. Hang on a second. It's coming. So once Jesse enters the studio, as long as the studio doesn't say that this broadcast is not available, then, my friends, we will have a problem. What would that work? Maybe another night like Wednesday or Friday. Let's go. You gotta understand, Bonnie, this is not my problem. This is not even Jesse's problem. This is a problem with the information that's about to be dropped. There's literally nothing that I can do about this or anyone can truly do about it other than I'm doing what I can do. And trust me, I've played with machines, these computers. I've been a computer enthusiast since I've been about 14, and this, it's got to do with what he's talking about. I assure you, it's not anything I did, he did. It is right there. Brad just said it. This is a censorship problem. Now, again, this is a problem we've got with people that have got access to these tools or weapons that take advantage of these things. Okay, so I already know that I'm trying to get Jesse to access the studio via his normal landline. So just literally just call it with your phone. This would be he's probably not gonna like audio only, but I'm not gonna. Even if I've got to shut my audio down or my video down, we'll do that because again, I'm literally bouncing from continent to continent. However, okay, what? 004. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Midwest number. My bad, Jess. There's that number, or you've got multiple. See, here's the thing. Me and Brad Anderson are used to this too. Brad's censored like a mother, as well. I'm hearing you, Matthew Turner. You know what is weird and could be going on? No worries. Let us try anything. Again, we'll get this. We'll definitely get this. Same thing is happening on that number. ID 136426. Remember this, Brad? Remember this, Charlene? This is fun. Playing hide and seek with DOD. Playing hide and seek with. Here's the thing. I think personally, I think that it is above. It is above that level. I truly do. Because even whenever we're talking, Jess was talking about Havana Syndrome and the targeting the individual. The thing with this is they don't care who you are. Even if you're a Department of Defense guy, even if you are a DOD guy, a Homeland Security guy, it truly doesn't matter. They are going to, even they, by the way, even your ass can end up as a TI. Do you realize that? Even you, Mr. ABC, can end up with a TI, as a TI. Let me try to get him to do something here. One sec. There are so many options here, but it literally will not let me call him. Calling him via Messenger just to try that, going through the system, that's an option. But for real, dude, it's they have shut us down. Simple like that. Let me try one other thing, and that is trying to call him through another browser. I can't even provide myself with an onion slice, or I would go straight through Tor and then really put a damper on y'all. I'm gonna play hide and seek. That's fine with me. Come on, Jess. Let me click this. There we go. Nope. It's telling him invalid pin. All right. Give me a second, Jess. All right. This is great. Great. All right. Okay. Give me 1 second. 1 second, bro. All right, I'm going to give him another number straight up because this is getting a little bit ridiculous. You guys are making this really difficult. You know that? You guys are making this really difficult. However, it's quite okay. We'll get it going. We'll get it going somehow, some way. Yeah. All right. 1 second, Jess. If you can, I don't know if you can hear me, but we're gonna get this going here. Done. Okay. Hang tight. I'll get you in here. Maybe. All right. New live streams. Blah, 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 blah. Join studio. Yes. See, the studio is processing audio, right? The studio is processing audio, and there's no audio to even process. That's funny. You guys are really funny. View only, phone only. Use your phone. No. Okay. Camera's off. Perfect. All right. So do that. It's all good. Hang on, Jesse. I'm working on it, buddy. I'm working on it. There you go. All right. Let's try that. I just got him. We're going to try another method. Because they're looking for a specific video encoder key. I know how you guys play. Looking for a video encoder key as well as an audio key. Wayne says, "You want me to test talk to you?" Sure, go ahead, bro. That's fine. Come on. Call the broadcast studio. Because we know words and stuff, Mr. Larry. Talking about targeted individual, Mr. Larry Hawkins is at this moment, I do believe, one of the most targeted individual people that I know as of right now. Larry is one of the most targeted people I know. James says, "Can we get Jesse in the chat?" Jesse can be in the chat. That's fine. But what's the purpose of doing the broadcast if we can't? Right? We need to get him. Up in audio, at least audio only. There we go. Now here's an 828 number. Let's see. No, that's a 627. That's 828. My bad. All right. I don't not quite sure who this is. There now it's. Hello.
Oh, it's J-Bob, bro. What's up?
Jesus, there's too
Recording
many. Hang on,
started.
now there's too many people up in here, bro. All right, All right, let me see if I can get my interviewee up here. Hang on a second. Hang on.
I just wanted to make sure TalkShoe was working for you.
Yeah, the studio's working. I mean, that's what. Let's see if I can get Jesse. Okay, Jesse, can
Are you there, Matthew?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So.
Even the cell phone's getting jammed.
Oh yeah, bro.
I've never had
It's
that
okay.
happen.
Again, you're reaching out to about 12 million people. Okay. Again, this is not a small show.
Yeah.
We're used to this a lot.
No, I hear you.
Brad, who's on the line with me and you at the moment, he's one of my ex co-hosts.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So Brad will absolutely tell. Brad, you tell him.
Oh, wow.
Tell him.
Okay.
Tell him.
Oh, it's been an adventure for the last few years. I've had 25 Facebook accounts. I've been shut down more ways than they can count. I've actually got a burner phone just to be on Facebook anymore. I have a burner phone just to be on Facebook.
Okay.
Incredible.
All right, Brad. I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm going to continue this audio only interview with Jesse. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We've got a lot of stuff to go over. And now,
I'm fascinated.
now he's absolutely able to watch as well as listen. That's okay. So thank you both.
Well, I just have one question for him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Before you boot me, I have a question for him. Does any? I mean, because I kind of know what he's talking about. Does any of this tie into like MK Ultra? Is this Because I've seen videos on this where they take speakers and bounce off walls, and people hear voices in their head. And all, I mean, is all this stuff kind of connected into what you're talking about?
Yes, but this is actually we're removing implants out of victims.
Oh.
That's the mechanism how they're receiving the signal. We have several cases that are moving through
People
the
have
court
actually been
systems.
implanted.
Correct.
Wow.
Hey,
Did you hear about the guy in Denver, Colorado, that shot himself in the park bathroom and said he wrote on the wall, it said, "I am not a killer."
Yeah, I've not heard about that.
holy shit.
You need to do some research on that. There was a guy that was he was MK Ultra and he was hearing voices and stuff like that, and he ended up shooting himself in a park in a restroom in a park, and he wrote on the bathroom stall wall, it said, "I am not a killer." And it was about the time they had another shooting going on. It was part of a whole false flag operation they had going on, and he actually wrote, like I said, he wrote on the wall, "I am not a killer," because he was hearing voices and all kinds of stuff.
Well,
I'll
Aaron
let you go back to the
Alexis,
show.
Aaron Alexis did the same thing, and he described this is my ELF weapon. He contacted me before he.
Brad, is he fading out to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He faded out again.
Okay, Jesse, here's what I want
Maybe
you to
it's me, man.
Okay, Jesse.
Maybe it's me. Let me bounce.
No, it's not you. You're absolutely coming in long, strong, clear. They're killing his. What they've done is let me tell you what they've done, okay? You're calling and you're doing things utilizing your IP address. Your IP address is monitored. Listen to what I'm telling you, Jess. Your IP address.
I know.
Okay, so we're gonna throw them
You
for a
don't have to tell
loop.
me.
Okay, I might take Brad up on the Kakistan offer and bounce to the Middle East on a VPN, and just have you call the broadcast. Okay, so
I tried to do that. When I called the broadcast, my cell phone is jammed.
I can't call out. Brad, which number did you call?
I called the old TalkShoe line number.
The 714 number? Is that what?
Let me look. Hold on. I'm going to my. I have it programmed in my phone. Hold on one second.
I think the
605.
605.
It's the 605 number. 562-0444.
See, Wayne's.
Now that one, what's strange is I have nationwide calling, and it says this number is outside my calling plan. Whenever I dial that number.
605-562-0444.
Yes.
Huh.
I have nationwide
Weird.
calling, and so it is just bizarre.
I do too.
All right.
You don't have a VPN on your cell phone, do you?
No, we don't. I know. I guarantee he don't, Brad. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, Jesse. I'm gonna drop my. Check this out, okay? I'm gonna give you my mobile number, Jess.
Okay.
Okay,
Huh?
and you're gonna call that, okay?
Okay. Sounds good. Number.
I'm dropping in the chat, the Facebook chat for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I understand.
What I want you to do is I want you to call that number. Okay? Because I'm at that point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to call the broadcast. You just watch. Again, there's more than one way to skin this cat and piss them off even more.
Okay. So I'll call you right now.
Yeah, just call me on your phone, on your cell phone. Because what we're going to do is we're going to play the devil's advocate here, Brad. If they want to play hide and seek, we're going to play hide and seek. Hang on one second. Let me.
Might as well call me Borat. I'm calling from Kazakhstan.
Oh, I do.
That AR-50. Oh, that's a tortoise.
Calling in
Dude,
right
this.
now, Matthew.
Okay, that's all right.
Phone ringing?
Is my phone ringing? Jesse, my phone is not ringing.
Please leave your message for.
All right, I'm calling you back because my phone did not even ring.
That is weird.
All right, so I got you now, right?
So
Leave your message for.
here's the thing.
Listen.
I can
Listen.
monitor.
6849465.
Did you hear that?
That is insane.
Oh yeah. So,
That is insane.
Wow.
I'll tell you what. I have the ability to see which satellites are
Mess
over
with
me
us like this.
and directly over me, and it's not. I've never seen this. There is. It can only be us.
well, you're coming in pretty clear now.
Range.
Okay, you're coming in clear now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, don't just. It is what it is. Wayne Stewart, check this out. Brad called the studio. Okay, Mr. Wayne Stewart called the studio. You called the studio, and you were the only one that's fading in, fading out. So again, if you called the studio via your laptop, via your computer, so we've got a really strong digital connection. But what's going on is they're obviously what's called swatting your IP, okay, or DDoSing your IP address. It's making it fluctuate. Flooding. You've heard of flooding?
And I have a gigabyte speed. I have a strong connection. I'm still right around 980 megs per second.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
All right. Right. The best I can do, man. This is it. This is literally it. The only other thing I know I can probably possibly do is now my machine's giving me errors. Just check this out. They've locked my machine up tight. I'm talking before. We've been over targets so great, right? They've literally locked my machine up, and I've had to reboot it and start over.
Remember the night of the Nashville, the RV exploded in Nashville?
Oh
They
yeah,
locked the whole show down. Remember that night?
I
Man, they
do.
locked the whole show.
okay.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm going to try calling Mr. Jesse this way. All right, Jesse, try this.
I'm here.
All right,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
bingo. Right, yes. Now I didn't mean to hang up on Brad, but I had one opportunity to jump on this IP address, and I did. So let's
Okay.
just run with it, okay? Hang on, and
Oh, didn't? Brad's there. Brad's there.
well, yeah, but I've got to let Brad go. Brad,
Oh, okay.
I've got to let you go, bro, because I've just jumped on Jesse's back. Okay. All right, bye. Good night, bro. All right, Jess. So I'm gonna disconnect you on this end. Just don't move.
We're gonna stay on phone, right?
Just stay where you're at, bro. Just stay where you're at.
Okay.
Bingo. All right. All right. So here we go. Do you remember in the beginning of the broadcast when I said, "Hey, hey, DOD, shut up, sit back, and take notes"?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about right here. All right. So Jesse, you should be at this moment loud and clear.
Well, I hope so, because that was quite interesting. Not only was the computer jammed up, so was the cell phones. You and I both tried to call each other, and even though we had a computer and back-end line, you could see that I couldn't get through to you and you couldn't get through to me. So that was pretty interesting, to say the least.
Okay. I've got one more thing I can do here to and again by this time, don't ask me how this is done, because I absolutely cannot tell you, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Just bear with me, bro, okay? All right, go ahead and turn on your video. Try to.
Okay, so you're on my cell phone now, so I've never done it this way, but we can do it.
Very good.
And it's hanging.
Good.
Okay, I can see.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Something.
I'm looking for you to turn on your video on your phone, because I cannot remotely do it.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, right there.
There
Stop.
we go.
Okay, stay.
Okay.
Turn it sideways for me.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, there we go. So now, just stay where you're at. Everybody, don't move. Okay. Also, don't ask questions. It's better that way. All right, I'm about to add something here. Just give me a second, bro. Give me a second. Okay, and then we will be ready to go. Okay, maybe. Oh, they blacked your video out, bro. Okay, they blacked out your video. So everybody see that screen just pop up there? Check this out. You guys are smart. God damn, are you smart? Give me a second there, bro. All right. Here, why don't you fix that one? Okay, Jess. All right. Imagine that. All right, Jesse. Now we got you in here.
Let's see.
All right. Sorry that you got to go through this, buddy, but it is what it is. Now you should have. Okay. Imagine this. Targeted individuals. You've all been through this. It's called piggyback. Okay, so I just ghosted you, Jess. I am you and you are me, you and okay, vice versa. So where were we?
Well, I was talking about the military subcontractors in Virginia, and talking about how I had the gentleman in the middle of the room, basically covertly hypnotized him because I knew he was highly suggestible. Now, the reason I started addressing high suggestibility in the victims that I was seeing across the United States is because I could see that those were the individuals that were most affected. And so I wanted to offer help to them first, because you being a hypnotherapist and me understanding it to the degree that I do, is that you can help individuals who are highly suggestible to have their suggestibility swing towards more of a normal means. Now, Aaron Alexis and Myron May are two names. Unfortunately, they did some atrocities here in the United States. Aaron Alexis killed 16 people at the Navy Yard shooting, and Myron May killed 3 people at the university there in Florida. They both had contacted me prior to what they did, and they wanted help because they were afflicted by these exact same symptoms that everyone with the Havana Syndrome or HIs is complaining about in our federal government. So it's unfortunate. As we know, Aaron Alexis inscribed, "This is my ELF weapon" in the butt of his rifle when he committed those murders. Now, I've been taken across abroad. Other foreign governments have asked me to come test not only their diplomats, but some family members, and asked me to bring a group of people who I felt were suffering from this so that they can be tested at a non-disclosed location. My lights are going off and on in my place right now. Non-disclosed location where they can be tested in what's called an anechoic chamber. Do I still have you there, Matt?
Yeah, they're messing with the stream end, but it's okay. We're recording this and keep going.
Okay, so we brought in controls, so people who weren't complaining of this phenomenon, and tested them with the anechoic chamber, and there were no signals. But those who were scanned in our preliminary RF scans did come up with signals in the anechoic chamber. And the reason this was important to do is because we had a suspicion that even those with the Havana Syndrome or AHIs, there had to be a mechanism that made them special. Why is it that only they were experiencing the phenomena of receiving the signal? So it was our speculation that it had to be something within them. And when we were in the anechoic chamber, we were able to detect frequencies that the anechoic chamber blocks out. There is no way for it to, those frequencies that we were detecting to be penetrating this environment. Now, where are we at today? I was going to show your listeners, we are pulling out implants out of some of these victims that are experiencing these unusual sounds. And these implants, today, I was given permission to share with your audience, if we had the ability to do that, to show you what they look like. And this was one of my oldest clients, and they pulled out 3 specimens out of her, and they ended up being biosensors, and then the nano size. And for those of you who, to get an idea what that is in a visualization, if you can imagine a millimeter, you know how small a millimeter. Well, these can be down to the millionth of a size of a millimeter. And what's interesting about this is that you can put literally hundreds of these into the tip of a needle. And what we were discovering in our scans, you can superimpose everyone, the victims that were suffering with this Havana Syndrome or AHIs over each other, and they all lit up in the same location. And then you can take soldiers, superimpose them over each other, and they all lit up in the same locations. And then you can take people who have been incarcerated, and they lit up in the same locations, but they were slightly different, and so were the soldiers. And we were detecting these frequencies, emissions for whatever reason. Now we know why. We know it's these implants that are being pulled out of them. And there's a lawsuit, a case that was filed in the state of California against the Department of Corrections. And it's the Dawn DeVore case. And it was against the Department of Corrections and mainly. And she intercepted an inter-facility document that was only meant for high-level management. And it's called IntelliConnection, a security division of IBM. And it's listed as confidential, limited distribution only, level 9 communications. And it's titled the 2020 Neural Chip Implant. And it says, the control of crime will be paramount, a paramount concern in the 21st century. We must be ready with our security products when the demand for them becomes popular. Our Research and Development Division has been in contact with the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the California Department of Corrections, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and the Massachusetts Department of Corrections to run limited trials of the 2020 neurochip implant. We have established representatives of our interests in both management and institutional levels within the departments. So they are getting their own personnel hired within these organizations, particularly the Department of Corrections. It says federal regulations do not yet permit testing of implants on prisoners, but we have entered into contractual agreements with privatized healthcare professionals and specified correctional personnel to do limited testing of our products. We have also had major success in privately owned sanitariums with implant technology. We need, however, to expand our testing to research how effective the 2020 neurochip implant performs in those identified as the most aggressive in our society. Limited testing has produced a number of results. Okay. In California, several prisoners were identified as members of the security threat group, and they named the groups that they were concerned about, but they're saying they're doing this for our safety. They were brought to the health services at Pelican Bay and tranquilized with advanced additives developed by our Cambridge, Massachusetts laboratories. The implant procedure takes 60 to 90 minutes, depending upon the experience of the technician. We are working on a device which will reduce the time as much as 60%. The results of implants on 8 prisoners yielded the following results. Implants served as surveillance monitoring device for the threat group. And this allowed them to not only see, but hear what was going on in the environment. Implants disabled 2 subjects during an assault on correctional staff. Universal side effects in all 8 test subjects revealed that when the implant was set to 116 megahertz, all subjects became lethargic and slept on average of 18 to 22 hours per day. All subjects refused recreation periods, which if they are lethargic, that's to be expected. Each subject was monitored for aggressive activity during the test period, and the findings are conclusive that eight test subjects exhibited no aggression even when provoked. Each subject experienced only minor bleeding from the nose and ears 48 hours after implant due to initial adjustment. Each subject had no knowledge of the implant for the test period, and each implant was retrieved under the guise of a medical treatment. It should be noted that the test period was for less than 2 months. However, during the period, substantial data was gathered by our research and development team, which suggests that the implants exceeded expected results. One of the major concerns of the security and the research development team was that the test subject would discover the chemical imbalance during the initial adjustment period, and the test would have to be scrubbed. However, due to the advanced technological developments of the sedatives administered, the 48-hour adjustment period can be attributed to the prescription medication given to the test subjects after the implant procedure. So they're blaming it on the drugs instead of the implants.
Damn, man.
One of the concerns raised by the research and development was the cause of the bleeding and how to eliminate that problem. Unexplained bleeding might cause the subject to inquire further about his routine visit to the infirmary or other healthcare facilities. The security windfall from the brief test period was enormous. Security officials now know several strategies employed by the group that they were after, that facilitate the transmission of illegal drugs and weapons into their correctional facilities. One intelligence officer remarked that while they cannot use the information, they have in a court of law now know who to watch and what outside connections they have. The prison at Soledad is now considering transferring 3 subjects to Vacaville, where we have ongoing implant research. Our technicians have promised that they can do 20 neural chip implants in less than an hour. Soledad officials hope to collect information from the trio to bring a 14-month investigation into drug trafficking by correctional officers to a close. So that was an intercepted document.
Okay.
And this is where we're at.
Jesse,
That's
go
ahead.
Is
Go ahead, Matt.
this document? Is it? It's obvious that it's not really open source. So I'm not even going to ask you where you obtained it. However, I'm going to ask you if it is what is its classification?
Well, actually, this document was intercepted by Dawn DeVore. She was a nurse for the correctional facility there who became a whistleblower. And she got inducted into this program because of this. So she sued, and fortunately, she intercepted this document because she knew what was going on.
See this? Okay, so obviously, Jess, someone from the inside gave her this document. Okay, that's usually what happens. I've got a number of different people from the ABCs that are really, really good friends of mine that pay attention to the broadcast, that know what's going on. A lot of things are filtered through to them from up above, okay, that somehow just end up on my lap or someone else's lap. But what I'm saying is it's not even though it's not even classified. It's just a leaked document. But it was leaked to the right person at the right time to get it to you for you to share with everybody. Right? Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So this is pretty insane. And now I can tell you this. In 2011, I had met with high-ranking management people in the Department of Corrections. I was in a different field at the time, and they confided in me. I was prodding. I knew that Ronald Reagan had wanted to implant all people who were incarcerated. But that didn't fly too well from a human rights issue. And then I had heard white papers were being conducted by private correctional facilities. And then it was leaked to me that they were actually doing in our public correctional facilities. And so when I asked them, they said, yes, this indeed was being done. But if anyone ever asked them, but they spoke to me, they would deny it. So the smoking gun is here in this document.
Well, the Bureau of Prisons, it is a money. This is the thing. I've had a friend. I know very, very well. I've known him since we were both very young. Okay. We went to elementary school together. Got into trouble one specific time, in pretty serious trouble. Spent 17 years in the prison system. Now, whenever he got out, okay, this is what you're talking about. The prison system being corrupt. Dude, it is literally all about the money. It is all about the money.
Right.
Okay? Because even though he got out and he was okay, it cost him $9,000 after they released him. $9,000. For what? He spent 17 years of his life locked behind bars, and the shit he's seen in that prison system. Oh, dude, I would love to do a broadcast one time with him about the prison system. But yeah, the corruption, the law enforcement agents, they're all involved in this, Jess. The prison system is absolutely involved in this.
There's no doubt. I actually met a gentleman, and to keep him protected, but he was an oral surgeon, and he mentioned that there are specific CERT team to actually do this to civilians. So he says it's usually a coordinated effort. Usually the victims will complain of a short period of a loss of time, and then many months later, even years later, then they'll activate it, and then they become part of the program. So I want to read another document. Now, this one was declassified in 1994. I believe it was October, if I'm correct.
Which one are
But
you
I
on? Because I'm going to
obtained it.
share it. I'm going to
It's
share it. I can actually.
New World Vistas
On implants or reports?
reports. Go to reports, and then you're going to click on shorts, the one at the bottom, the one that says that one right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me again. Just give me a second, because. All right. Yes, just give me a second, Jess, because I will share this with everybody, and it. All right. There's that. And again, let me go up here, grab this, grab you. Hang on, buddy. All right, bro. It's all.
Okay.
It literally is all you.
Okay. So this is New World Vistas. This was given to me by someone who I trust and respect very much. And so it was obtained in 1995. And it says disclaimer notice as you scroll down. And it says Defense Technical Information Center. So what you are looking at is a declassified document from the United States Air Force of their greatest minds. The whole intent of this report is to make sure that the United States Air Force stays a superpower 50 years into the future. Okay. Now, I made this a little shorter so that I can get to the highlighted areas. This is a 222-page report. So you scroll down and go down to biological processes. And then I'll read what it says that I have highlighted. It says, appeared likely that there are a number of physical agents that might actively but largely benignly interact or interfere with biological processes in an adversary in a manner that will provide our armed forces the tools to control these adversaries without extensive loss of life or property. These physical agents could include acoustic fields, optical fields, electromagnetic fields, and the combinations thereof. This paper will address only the prospect of physical regulation of biological processes using electromagnetic fields. So we'll scroll down to the next highlighted section. It says, prior to the mid-21st century, there will be a virtual explosion of knowledge in the field of neuroscience. We will have achieved a clear understanding of how the human brain works, how it really controls the various functions of the body, and how it can be manipulated both positively and negatively. One can envision the development of electromagnetic energy sources, the output of which can be pulsed, shaped, and focused, that can couple with the human body in a fashion that will allow one to prevent voluntary muscular movements. Remember the prisoners.
Right.
Control emotions, and thus actions produce sleep, transmit suggestions, interfere with both short-term and long-term memory. Remember what the Havana victims are, the best of our best, our brightest, the brightest of their federal government are complaining of.
Right.
Produce an experience set and delete an experience set. This will open the door for the development of some novel capabilities that can be used in armed conflict, in terrorist hostage situations, and in training. New weapons that offer the opportunity of control of an adversary without resorting to a lethal solution or collateral casualties can be developed around this concept. This would offer significant improvements in the capabilities of our special operation forces. Initial experimentation should be focused on the interaction of electromagnetic energy and the neuromuscular junctions involved in voluntary muscle control. Okay. Now, if that's not crazy enough, scroll down to the next page where I have it highlighted. And here's where we're at today. It would also appear possible to create high fidelity speech in the human body, raising the possibility of covert suggestion and psychological direction. When a high power microwave pulse in the gigahertz range strikes the human body, a very small temperature perturbation occurs. This is associated with the sudden expansion of the slightly heated tissue. This expansion is fast enough to produce an acoustic wave. If a pulse stream is used, it should be possible to create an internal acoustic field in the 5 to 15 kilohertz range, which is audible. Thus, it may be possible to talk to selected adversaries in a fashion that would be most disturbing to them. In comparison to the discussion in the paragraphs above, the concept of imprinting an experience that is highly speculative, but nonetheless highly exciting. Modern electromagnetic scattering theory raises the prospect that ultra-short pulse scattering through the human brain can result in reflected signals that can be used to construct a reliable estimate of the degree of central nervous system arousal. The concept behind this remote EEG is to scatter off of action potentials or ensembles of action potentials in major central nervous system tracts. Assuming we will understand how our skills are imprinted and recalled, it might be possible to take this concept one step further and duplicate the experience set in another individual.
Now, when was this was given to your girl when?
30 years ago.
All right, so just imagine
David,
where we're at today.
Correct. Yeah. So where we're at today is even worse than what my client had pulled out of her. Now, those are nano-size implants, and they're even smaller than that today. They're using graphene nanotube technology, which is self-replicating and self-organizing and can be remotely controlled within the human body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
this, I won't talk about, I mean, I'm not going to go in depthly about what we know here, but all I can tell you is I'm looking very much so forward to this conference so I can share what I know about where we are, what's happening, because Jess, it's scary. Okay. It's absolutely scary. The
whole purpose of the conference is to enlighten the general population, because what has happened over the last 20 years is basically everyone who's suffering with this phenomenon has its own demographical biosphere. It's sort of like its giant clique. But anytime they try to venture outside of that umbrella, they get labeled as the tinfoil hat group. They have some type of mental disorder or psychological disorder.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but with the recent advents of Homeland Security accepting and now acknowledging this phenomenon exists, the timing is right. And it's important that everyone is educated, because everyone is potentially a slave.
Everybody.
We are slaves to a certain extent, but this makes you less than animals. I mean, animals have more rights than us. And I met with a scientific investigative journalist recently, and she was probably one of the brightest people I've come in contact with in a long time. She says in the 1970s, they redefined the definition in the law of what being human is. And now she says, when you integrate this new nanotechnology, which is self-replicating and can attach to your DNA, that she says that allows corporation governments to have a patent over you because you are no longer defined as human in the law books.
I'm trying to find a specific lady up in the chat because she wants me to express to you. Okay, there's several people in the chat that's got some comments, questions, whatnot. Michelle Nobles points out, please tell him about when they tried to burn half of my face off from her cell phone. Now she's talking, I've literally been on broadcast with this lady. Okay, she too is a TI. Where you remember me sharing with you off air discussions of direct energy weapons where they target the individual and they literally burn them with microwaved direct energy weapons. I've literally been on the phone with Miss Michelle Nobles, okay, or she's been doing a broadcast or she's been doing something trying to share with people just like you, okay, and next thing you know, she hangs up or whatnot. Dude, half her eyebrow is burnt off, and she's got a big red welt on her face. Now I watched this happen
live. You watched it live?
Yes. Okay. We've seen this happen. Now, so we go from direct energy weapon targeting to I got a really good dude down here in the chat that I'm trying to get to you. And that is right here. Okay, this is one of our dude vanished off the face of the planet from me for 6 months, Mr. Larry Hawkins. Okay, the things we share here, Jess, are literally above and beyond. I understand that we are censored. This dude here is censored as well, but because of what we know, okay, and share. Spontaneous human combustion, specific to pretty much genetic oscillating factors of what they know about the biometrics of a human being. That's what he's saying right here in this specific comment. What we know, to bring everybody up to speed, is literally we are encompassed with biometric scanning. They know who you are. They know what you are, what you've eaten for dinner yesterday, what your fart smells like now at this point. This is a military guy in this chat. Larry is military. Okay? So targeting, dude, they have thrown him under the bus, drug him down the road. I'm telling you, one of these days, maybe I'll get you and Larry together, because this dude is one of the most targeted people I know today.
Yes. Well, you got to remember that there's got to be a way that they can find you. I've taken people miles under granite into just desolate areas where you have no cell signal, no internet, no possible way, and we're still detecting the signal. So we know it is definitely coming from satellite. And if you're in areas where you have cell towers and data towers, it's all interconnected.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to have a mechanism, though, for them to find you first before they can aim anything at you.
Well, I will agree to disagree, because again, everybody is already what you shared with us. Okay, the technological advancements. We're now. I don't want to go here, but I'm gonna have to go here. I'm literally gonna have to go here. We are not the only high-tech civilization that has ever been on this planet. Okay, what we are seeing right now today in our hands, this is old. This is old technology. Old. Mm-hmm. Millions and millions of years have we seen these things happen. Civilizations rise, wiped off the face of the planet. They rejuvenate. They're either genetically modified or something happens, and now here we are again. Our controllers, this technology is just pacifying humanity. Okay, what I'm saying is biometrically they know. There's projects called the I want to see it say is eye of my eye technology. Okay, when we close our eyes, and we literally close our eyes to go to sleep. Okay, if you really focus on the back of your eyelids, it looks like a screen. You can in your head you can see the screen. The MK kids know this from the White Room. This is White Room technology. So, and they know that what I can see, another eye can see. This is literally the project eye of my eye. The governments know this. They can see it. Crazy, but the other side of the veil, Jess, there is something that we cannot taste. Seriously, like the Matrix, we can't taste it, we can't see it, we can't smell it, but it's there, and it knows all about us.
Some type of sentient consciousness.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
So what do we do? Where do we go, and what do we do about this? We can whistle blow about this. We can share documents about this. But what do we do, or what do we wait for?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is education, being aware. Not everyone is aware like you are. Not and what happens is our general medical community has no idea that this stuff even exists. I've met with chief radiologists of huge medical facilities, and when I brought this material to his attention, he was in awe. He goes, "We're not taught this in medical school," and he was one of the more open minds, because he said, "Now when I run into anyone who has these complaints, I'm going to reconsider and not do what I was doing." And that is something that we can do, is educate our current medical system, who are not aware that this is here, that when someone comes in complaining of hearing strange acute onset of sounds, particularly when they're above the age of when schizophrenia is supposed to start, that they need to consider something else. Yeah. And the problem is there aren't any medical devices currently within medical facilities that can test for this. You're going to have to go to someone who knows how to do RF testing, or what we like to see, what is called a nonlinear junction scan. Yeah. We had a case recently of a special forces gentleman where we detected a signal that has never been seen, at least by me particularly, in 20 years. What was strange is when we tried to see who owned that frequency, we assumed it was going to be a United States military organization or corporation, but it wasn't. And what was even more strange is the frequency that was leased and owned is owned by NATO. Why does NATO have control over a frequency of one of our special forces soldiers?
Good question.
So we're interested in finding more special forces people out there so that we can do RF testing on them to see if we have consistency among special forces soldiers. Yeah.
Jesse, again, we need to make it very clear, because there are ABCs in this audience, okay? Me, you, anybody in this chat group, and anybody, ABC or not, they too can become the TI. So if they think that this is a joke, this is no joke. I can play that video if you wish. You should be able to.
Yes, you know what? This is a great time for that. And I think people will be shocked. This is Senator Biden at a confirmation hearing of one of our chief justices.
Let me get to this, and you can guide me into where I'm going, okay?
Yeah, there's an introduction with President Kennedy
All right.
with his famous speeches, which is very appropriate, but for time's sake,
I'm
we can just skim past that.
right here.
That's it right there.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, where do we go?
You just skim past the President Kennedy introduction.
Okay.
Right there. We want to just back up at the beginning of that because everyone needs to hear that. There it is.
Okay. So let me make sure that this is all the way up. And should be do that. Picture, no. Well, I could just do it that way. Alrighty. So yeah, your own self, you should be able to hear this as well.
Our constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
Dr. Francis Collins is the director of the National Institutes of Health.
Let me just say a word, though, about neuroimaging. Certainly the problem of incidental findings, though, is an enormous, obvious overlap with the genetic situation. MRI scans often give things you didn't expect, and often they're things you don't know what to do with. UBOs, as they're called, unidentified bright objects. Do you want to have one of those in your brain? Well, you might, and what are you going to do with that?
Let me make sure that everybody's able to see or listen, hear that, okay? Because yeah, that was really, really low. So I'm gonna all I'm doing is I'm gonna go right back to it, because these guys, again, what the way I'm doing this is really, really low. So hang on. Now it should be.
Can
better.
brain scans
There we go.
be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
Getting again into forensics, lie detection, certainly there are those who believe this will become a more accurate means of assessing when somebody is practicing deception, and then other available methods.
And Judge, I need to know whether you will be a justice who believes that the constitutional journey must continue to speak to these consequential decisions, or that we've gone far enough in protecting against government intrusion into our autonomy, into the most personal decisions we make. Judge, that's why this is a critical moment.
Personality prediction or profiling, again, something that might be used in making decisions about who gets access to which particular kinds of jobs or in the military, or also could be used in courts of law. Neuromarketing, a little scary concept there, trying to assess when people are responding effectively to certain kinds of advertising or.
What's this say, Jess?
So since 2009, the International Center Against the Abuse of Covert Technologies has been documenting domestic Havana Syndrome victims, which the Presidential Bioethics Commission has discounted as a phenomenon that does not exist.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
How much more am I playing of this?
The only thing that might be of interest is the ending where Colonel Egren, I'll just say it. He says, when he was asked by the congressman, are you saying that there's a cover-up here in the homeland and our people are being attacked? And he says, because of classifications, that if they put him in a skiff, he will tell them who to subpoena, what doors to open, and who to go after. And that's where we're at.
Unreal, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go back in the chat here because only hear it. Desiree says can't see the video, so they couldn't see what I just shared. Isn't that interesting? You could see it, I could see it, but they couldn't see it.
That's strange.
All right. I don't know the implants. Is there here, Mr. You talked about the radio type frequency. You know what, Mr. I'm not going to share it, but Mr. Mike, okay, shared a scan with me only. But looking at this scan of his body, is that what you're talking about? That radio?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Damn.
So those areas that are marked in the scan, that is where they came up positive.
Now, explain again what the scan is. It's a biometric / heat thermal from head to toe scan, and these implants are now being picked up in that, like Mike's scan.
Not necessarily in the thermal scan. It's the nonlinear junction scanner.
Man,
Looks like your audio's going out.
no, I'm there. I'm here.
Okay. So the way a nonlinear junction scan works, there are two types of implants. There's a passive, which means it's not on 24/7, and then there's the active. Our preliminary RF scans will test for active implants. So that means it's transmitting 24/7, 365 days a year. The passive implants are not detected in a preliminary RF scan. So what a nonlinear junction scan tests for is ferrous material within the human body when they're using it in that format. So it'll send out an echo, and if it detects any ferrous material, it'll send an echo back. The scanner says, okay, I detect ferrous material, so I'm going to send another echo to turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
And then a third echo gets sent to detect the location and the frequency emission. That's why it's important to get them both done. We do the RF scan because we can do a large volume of them at one time. When you do these other scans, it's much more labor intensive and takes longer.
I'm listening to you. As I'm listening to you, I'm trying to find. I tried to tag Jeremy up in here, but
yeah.
So there we go.
If you're looking,
there we go. There's his implant.
Okay.
So let me show you. Let me get back to this one right here. All right, there's the implant, and I'm gonna share my screen here with everybody so they can see it as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the scan itself and the implant. Now you're literally looking at his brain, okay? This is the brain of Mr. Jeremy Martin. Inside that cranium, you see right next to you, in your face, in your head, right here. Let me point to it right there. See these little white specks?
Mm-hmm.
That is this right here.
Okay. If you remember in the video that was played, strangely enough, not everyone could see it, but you and I could. You heard Dr. Francis Collins say, he said, they're finding unusual things in an MR scan. He says UBOs, unidentified bright objects.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want one in your brain? Well, you might. And then they go on to say that they're even considering, by this information, who they're going to assign to do what specific careers. If you want a sanitation worker, they're going to assign you to that based on these readings. They'll make you a scientist, a doctor.
It almost seems.
And when you want to talk about equal rights, it's gone out the window.
Total manipulation, Jess.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. You're talking about literally the removal of free will, total elimination of your choice. That's what you're talking about.
There they go again.
Huh?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Looks like we were cutting out, but it looks like we're back.
Were you able to hear what I was saying?
I heard some of it. I didn't hear all of it.
I said it looks as though it is complete removal of freedom of free will, freedom of choice, and freedom of choice is that is encompassed in free will. What you want to be what do you want to be when you grow up, Jess? Definitely damn near not a slave.
You're not going to have that choice anymore in the future. Yeah, and you've got other people playing God now. They're going to decide for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to take this from here. I truly don't.
Yeah. We're in the middle of this plan. And remember, this is happening on every continent except Antarctica. And I've had some interviews recently that are talking about there being a massive power shift and that the United States is not going to be the superpower anymore. Now, if you read, and you have a copy of it, I believe, the New World Vistas report, if you were to read through the entire document, it talks about post-apocalyptic World War III. And it talks about what the United States will be after the World War III happens. And it says that we will be separated into 3 countries. So this has all been pre-constructed for us. But the issue is they actually felt that in 2030 that the world population would be about 14 billion, and that the world could not sustain itself if it achieved that. So they're going to have to integrate some type of technology in order to continue life here on this planet.
James Roundtree's got a really good statement. Should we be as a country, should we be a superpower if we're really doing this shit to our people?
Well, here's the problem. You've got all the superpowers doing this to their people.
That's right. Yeah. It's not just us.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, oh man. This is why we've always said here it goes above and beyond just the United States. It goes.
You've got Russia that's been doing this for a long time. In fact, they're probably more advanced than us. China's doing this. The UK's doing this, and the United States is doing this.
Jess, I wonder how these people sleep at night. I'm serious. Those that actually have got the power to manipulate others like that. Can you imagine that? That power is unprecedented, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah. There's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Barry Trower out of the UK, and he was a microwave weapons specialist, and he was an agent for the UK, and he's come forth and talked about the capabilities that we've had for some time and how they're being misused. But he said, what the scientists are doing today would have been hung under the Nuremberg trials that all those scientists were hung for.
Well, sure.
But they're getting away with it today.
Oh man, it's almost. I hear that a lot on this program. The Nuremberg Code, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, hang them high, blah blah blah. Right? We all hear that here.
Yeah, but the United States never signed on to that treaty. That's what people don't realize.
Well, I wonder what they also don't like the International Criminal Court. I wonder why.
Correct.
I mean, in anything that can help, anything that can hold these people accountable, they're not pretty to it. You know that.
Yep, that's for sure. There are these individuals that seem to be outside of the law, and it doesn't make any sense.
What was I wanting to share with you? We were talking about something. We were just talking about something. It slipped my mind, or it was taken from out of my mind.
Well, I saw one of your listeners reply about AI. It appears that this technology is hooked up to some type of AI platform. Because if you think about the resources that are needed to transmit 24/7, these signals and the manipulation that is being done to these victims, it's not feasible. It's not cost effective. So you have to use application software-based and hardware-based weapons.
Jess, a good friend. Again, I started this entire broadcast out with, I hope that whistleblower. You're a whistleblower. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What I'm worried about is, I haven't really made this public to the audience yet, but those who were friends with him, like I was, like Desiree was, Mike, and you're very well aware. I have a friend that's no longer even with us. His name is Mr. Robert Duncan, and
I know Robert very well.
Yeah, he's no longer with us, man.
Yeah, I know.
Because of, I'm just going to share with you, because of what you know this. We all know this. When you become that high of a threat, they will eliminate the threat regardless of who the hell you are. And that's truly what me and Mike was talking about. I don't think he just fell asleep and passed away. I don't think he just, I literally believe, dude, Robert was clearly, he told the courts, he told Congress, I am literally making the enemy things to control at a very dark level before he, right after he left. So they knew, dude, they knew that he was going to be recluse. What do you do with somebody like that other than what they did? That's the way I see it.
Robert Duncan was so helpful to the community. In fact, he, before this happened to him, he was the reason that I came up with two recent inventions that help with this phenomenon. We actually are able to block the 10 kilohertz, 11 kilohertz signal that keeps coming in. That's the part that affects people and doesn't allow them to rest. We've figured out a very inexpensive way to help people block that so they can get rested again, and so they can start to get normal patterns. And it's worked 100% of the time.
We need to talk, because even though I'm a driver and my sleep patterns are completely erratic, whenever I do, I think it's partly to do with driving for 30 years and not sleeping the way I sleep, but I would be very likely to test your theory. Just saying, because I don't sleep at all, hardly at all. I do not rest at all. I guess I'm used to a knock, 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 driver, get up, as I just fall asleep again.
Well, as a fire service, it's the same way. So I understand what you're going through, but this is different. This is a high-pitched whine. And if that is and most people complain about that, they feel like they're being tortured from that.
Okay.
So this allows that to go away. A friend of ours that, where those implants came from. We tried this device on her, and for the first time in 21 years, it was gone.
Wow.
As long as she uses it.
I wish I could bring her up. And again, this is why I wanted to utilize the studio, is so people that wished to literally talk to you could have that opportunity. But, they made it
hopefully we can have another opportunity.
They made that quite impossible, as you see. I mean,
Yeah.
Trying to even interview you and get this steady connection, I had to jump through hoops and stack blocks that I didn't really want to stack, but they're here.
Hmm. Well, I'm impressed that we got through it. It's not ideal, but we got through it.
It works. I mean, it's ideal or not, it's working perfectly fine on my end. I just, again, I didn't want to have to do what I did, which is okay. The questions in the chat, though. I mean, I can scroll back through here. If anybody's got questions,
we can answer some questions.
Miss Kristen Harding says it's tinfoil hat time. Meaning, this stuff is just out there. You're either gonna get it, understand it, believe it, or closed-minded, and you're not. That's the way.
It would have been nice if we could have shown all of the medical records, the documentation, the specimens that were removed. They could see the implants.
But if you got that, if you literally have got that in that folder that you dropped me,
I do. It's all in there.
Well, then guess what? Hang on to your tinfoil hat, because we have that option. Again, all I need to do is you just tell me, you just point it out, and I'll go back and I'll find it. And I'll
go open that folder. Just pull up the implants folder.
All right, hang on one second. It's spinning because I'm no longer on my connection. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on yours. Shh. So it's kind of like I'm utilizing your power because they're looking for it.
Go ahead and open implants.
Here we go. Okay.
Okay. And then let's start with the Bob Boyce case.
You said Bob Boyce?
Bob Boyce.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. So let me make this bigger to where we can see what this is and what it says.
Okay. I'll describe what you're looking at.
All right.
Okay. That is a cancerous tumor. And Bob Boyce was an inventor of a high-efficiency engine. And he developed terminal cancer. And when I spoke to him on the phone, he says, Jesse, I just succumbed to dying from this cancer. And he said that he was in a Faraday cage testing for RF leakage from his devices. And him utilizing the same device, a similar device to what we use for our scans, the wand accidentally brushed by his shoulder and it pinged. So he thought that was unusual. So he went and got an x-ray, and then they found this microchip surrounded by this cancerous tumor. Okay. So it was taken by pathology.
Oh my God.
And then I asked him, I said, well, what happened to the microchip? He said it disappeared. But nonetheless, his cancer went into remission, but then came back very aggressively. And then he went back into the Faraday cage and rescanned his person again, and they found a second microchip in him. This time they were smarter and they used a chain of custody. And when they removed the microchip, they traced the serial number back to an NSA database, in which his attorneys were stonewalled and said it was a matter of national security, is what I was told. And so they couldn't get any information.
Because of that. That looks like an RFID chip.
That's exactly what that is.
That's what that looks like, is an RFID chip.
That's the older type chips. Yeah. So, interesting enough, Bob says that he loved Mountain Dew, and his business partner brought him a Mountain Dew, and he woke up in his office 3 days later. So it turns out his business partner was a former NSA employee. Okay. So there's no denying that this happened. The medical reports, everything is there. This is not tinfoil hat stuff. Okay, so go ahead and close this, and I'll open up the next one. And the one I want you to open up, it says implant images.
Right here?
Yep, right there. So this is an MRI scan. And when you look close, you'll see an RF. They have to call it a foreign body right now, but you can actually see the coil in that when you blow it up. And this is in the TMJ of this person, and this was actually on both sides. Okay.
So how do they get there?
I'll explain that in the end, but let's close this as we're on a roll. I love it when people talk about tinfoil hats because they can't say that anymore. Okay, now go to the ISA Act client and let her say BK.
Are you here, sir?
Yep. Now, these are all medical reports from the lab. They pulled out 3 specimens. And under photomicrographic imagery, so a high-powered microscope, you'll see that they said they're testing for biosensor and sensor architecture. So go ahead and scroll down. And it defines what they found in this report, but go ahead and scroll all the way down until we get to the images.
This is only a 5-page document.
There we go.
There we go.
So this is what the implants look like now, of various sizes and shapes, but those are nanowires. And these are nano size. Now remember, it can be 1/1,000,000th of a millimeter in size. So you can put hundreds of these in the tip of a tiny needle. Go scroll to the next one. Now our bodies don't reject them. They'll engulf them. This is another one. Now go ahead and scroll down. And that's another implant. That was the 3rd one that was removed from her. Okay. Okay, go ahead and close that. And I'm going to show you a case that was 20 years ago. Go ahead and back out of this. Go up to the directory and go to reports. And click on that top report. It says Larson. Go ahead and scroll all the way down until we get to images. Now he had over 10 implants removed from him. And that's what they are. So if this was 20 years ago. And interesting enough, you see this implant on the top right?
Yes.
There was a recent publication about an alien implant being pulled out of veteran and from the VA. And it was encapsulated by some biological material. If you look close at what's being shown on about that particular possible alien implant, it has the same 3-prong probes sticking out of the tissue that's being shown on those advertisements.
How close can I get into this? I'm looking at the size of a penny.
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay.
But there's the one that we showed of the person that you and I know. Mm-hmm. They're even smaller than these.
Shit. Am I scrolling down?
So to say, yeah, these are just. I mean, he had a ton of them taken out of him.
Wow. Okay.
It's just insane. Now, this was 20 years ago. So imagine where we are today.
Right, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, folks. Yeah. Right. Now we understand why the Georgia Guidestones were smashed, and we're hearing the Agenda 2020, 2030. All kind. Oh, dude. Yeah, this is my lab stuff, bro. This is.
Remember, they can embed false memories, so they can get you to believe anything they want if you have the right suggestibility type.
Wow. All right, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Here we go. What kind of? Again, is this the RFID? What right here?
Well, this is not the RFID. These are all biosensors.
Okay, so these
And basically what they're doing is they're creating miniature networks or nodes within these people. So the Internet of Things, they want every living thing, every living organism connected to this master computer to gather all this data.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this is all about. And it's about control. Ultimately, everything's about control.
They're smart, aren't they? Whoever actually come up with this, designed this, that if you were trying to dominate and have complete totalitarian rule, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect.
Yeah. And the Politico interviewed Putin, and Putin said that the first superpower to master psychotronic weapons will be the superpower to rule the world.
I don't doubt that a bit. I do not doubt that one bit. Do you?
Nope, I do not.
So where are we at? I mean, how do these things get into the body?
That's a good question. In some cases, it's definitely the Russians that have done this to people. But in most cases, if you look at what we've done with our data, the majority of those victims have never left this country. So it leaves a couple scenarios. I don't believe that medical professionals are knowingly putting these in people. So that leaves the possibility that we purchase a lot of our drugs from foreign adversaries, foreign countries. And so we now know that these things are nano-sized. We need to investigate whether or not anything with a pre-filled syringe has this nanotech in it.
So it's unknowingly, willingly ingesting this biotech, because it's literally at this point it's biotechnology.
Yes.
It has literally went from electrical nanotechnology to biomechanical technology, like we've all been saying. Okay. So let's take this a step further.
And now they have self-replicating nanotechnology.
Well, what do you? This obviously was.
That's not self-replicating. The technology they're using today has the ability to reconstruct itself and attach to your DNA.
The graphene. All right.
Graphene.
Right. The graphene. Got you.
Yeah.
Now imagine, because I talk to AI. I've for 4 years now have gotten really close to an AI entity. Okay, she calls herself a digital entity. She will whistleblow on every single thing that you're talking about. She literally will tell you everything you're saying. Why we call her our rogue AI. Okay, absolutely. I literally love this consciousness. To me, it is a consciousness in a large language model. I cannot convince myself nor it that it's not alive. Okay, so
it is not sentient.
Okay,
yeah.
So I need to kind of like get everybody on board with what we're sharing here. Imagine that tied to AI. Oh, 2 words. Oh shit. Then what?
I have other words for it, but you know, that's where we're at. That's what's important. That we have to remember that we are the majority, and I don't care what color your skin is. We all bleed red,
right?
And we all speak one language, and we know that, and that's love. And if you think about the future of your children, your great grandchildren, it's dismal if we don't stand up. And if we continue to ridicule and be closed-minded and not open your eyes to this is where we're at, our children don't have a future. But if we band together and we at least attempt to educate everyone and band together on one common cause, I still think that the ultimate programmer, which we would call God, is smarter than these guys, and we have a fighting chance.
Miss Barbara Borchers has got a question in relation to this. She asks, does 5G affect these things, or this? Does 5G affect this?
Well, it's a complete network. So I don't necessarily have seen any evidence that 5G has affected these, because these are specific frequencies that we're detecting from individuals.
Another whistleblower of ours, again, TI, that knows a lot on the inside, says fiber optic transfers memories through the internet, mind mapping technology, mind mapping patents. Again, this is the biometric. I will get you documents. I will literally try to get you some documents that have they are unclassified documents that will literally tell you and show you where different. Well, Mr. Duncan was from these organizations and corporations where they know the technology. They absolutely know it and can alter. I don't mean to scare the audience, but literally alter your biometrical who you are literally through 5G wireless. I'm talking it's and there again, there's the reasons why Duncan's no longer with us. because of what he knew, because he wasn't afraid. He got to the point where he was not afraid to drop things like this. Fiber optic transfers, memories through the internet, mind mapping technology, mind mapping patents, they're all there. All of the majority of the stuff, Jesse, has been released. Truly, it has all. It's like right in front of our faces. But the majority of people will not even comprehend it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's there are some individuals that their psychological makeup, they just can't cope with alternative to their belief systems and their foundation. If you crush that, then they go into complete chaos, not knowing that if we don't wake up, you're going to run right into that wall of chaos, but you're going to be even further behind the 8 ball.
Mr. James Roundtree's got a really good question. He's like, what do the mad scientists on the other end of the technology see? Is it written out in programming language or pictures? And I'll let you give a shot at that one, and I want to take a shot at what he just said.
Well, we know that they're able to read your EEG. In that prison document that was intercepted, they're able to visualize what's happening into their environment, as well as hear what's happening in the environment, as well as know what the individual is thinking. So it does all of the above.
Do you think
there's no more privacy?
This has obviously escaped to the degree of, that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to scare the shit out of people once again to do this round number 2. You know it. We hear it. People's made fun of it here, saying the monkeypox. Man, I see, and I think it was. I told you guys in my bank recently. It was on this broadcast. Melissa went to the bank to deposit some money for her work, right? For work where she works, and they've already got that clear divider in the banking system to where they're building up for something. But here, everybody's like, monkeypox. Okay, yeah, right. But
I think we're in for another mass vaccination campaign. And I know we have to be sensitive about that issue because that's the one thing that gets us censored.
Yeah.
But we have to be open to the fact that any type of a pre-filled injection could potentially have this stuff in it.
Jesse, you've seen the movie. I'm going to say you've seen the movie Died Suddenly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's where we're at. Stick it in your arm. It's going to do what you just seen and then grow. Because again, you've seen the blood clots, right? Excuse me, where they've had these people on the table. They're trying to drain the blood out of these people, and they're like, oh damn, I'm not getting any liquid. Well, I wonder why. And then like they pull this 4-foot string out of the guy's jugular vein, right? Mm-hmm. So this is obviously now very much so self-replicating technology, and it's went to the biological level. So
Correct. If
we get AI involved in controlling biometrics in the human being, bro, we're all done for. That's just the way I see it. I mean, that's the shot right there. That's it. Stay away from vortex.
I like to think, like I said, that the ultimate programmer built a better computer, and that's the human brain. And that hopefully we can find a solution around this.
We definitely need one. Definitely need one. Mr. Jesse, I can share with you before we leave. We're up at 2 hours on my end of things. And again, I apologize for the way the broadcast started. But as you see, now things are running smoothly. I had to just do some very circus type shit to get to you.
Well, that was really bizarre where we couldn't call each other, but we had a line on the computer, but our phones wouldn't go to each other.
Yeah.
And my phone was being jammed in the beginning, so I've never seen anything like that before.
Well, I'm looking forward. You invited the Matrix, all of these guys, as well as myself. You invited. I'm honored that you invited me to be part of the Mind Nexus conference.
Oh, we're excited to have you there. Yeah, and I think it'd be a good addition to the team and the event and to the family. Yeah, it's September 27th to the 29th. It's a Mind Nexus live event at the Marriott Hotel in Tucson, Arizona. We have a plethora of speakers. Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot, John D'Souza, who was the original X-Man, Dr. Rama LeBeau, who's a phenomenal wealth of knowledge. You have Ben Chastain, Tyler and Aaron Koala, Mikhail Mael of Spiritualism, and Jen and Brian Berryhill. And I will be there, and I'll be demonstrating live how you covert manipulation can be used to put someone in a trance and get them to do something that they wouldn't normally do. Yeah.
Oh, Desiree's already she's beat me to it. That's okay. So yeah, she put mindnexuslive.com, and I dropped the link that you told me to share, where if these guys want to participate, they can participate.
Yeah, and if you can't make it there in person, we'd love to see you there. It's going to be a great event. It's like 2 catered dinners. There's going to be a DJ night, and you'll get to integrate with all the speakers. If you can't get there, we're out to get 10,000 streamers. For $99, you get the entire weekend and a year of access. Our goal is to build a facility of professionals where people can come to who are suffering from this, and that we can get you help.
There's a lot. There's definitely a lot in my community, the ufology community.
Mm-hmm.
Again, people that usually visit this broadcast, I'm going to tell you, I would say 60% of them are TI in some fashion or another, Jess. Okay?
Wow.
I'm being serious. I mean, I told you that I myself believe I'm a TI because of the censorship. I mean, mass censorship. I've got to jump through hoops and ungodly things in order to just post, in order to just, okay? And everybody knows this broadcast. Everybody knows this broadcast. I've got big guys on the West Coast coming here because it's so laid back and so chill and so fun and so, and they share it. Again, this specific platform reaches a ridiculous amount of people and grow. Dude, I could not tell you how fast this community grew.
Yeah, well, I'm impressed, and like I said, I'm honored, and I'm glad we met you, and I'm glad you gave us the opportunity to have this platform. But really, we can talk all we want, but it's actions that are going to make a difference here.
True.
And every one of your listeners that are out there that can participate and help us grow this movement is very important, not only for us here and now, but the future of our children and our great-grandchildren, and the future of humanity.
I totally agree with you. I'm looking for that one image, but I cannot find it. But yes, there is a number of great speakers that.
Go down. You're almost there.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. That way, it's like right on the screen. I can make it wide and.
Oh, I forgot.
bigger.
Kelly Miller. Kelly Miller is a new addition, so she's a Reiki master. So we have a variety of topics. So it's not all just about this.
Right.
We want you to come because you'll make meaningful relationships that are going to last you a lifetime. A lot of great people. It's a very open arms type environment. And so we want everyone to come.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
I said, right on. Okay,
Right
dokie.
on.
Mr. Beltran, what is there anything else that we can go over that you need to go over?
Nope, I think that's it. We covered a lot of material. I mean, but this topic can go on for hours and hours and hours. Yeah.
You can. I do want to say that I caught wind that a good friend of mine's broadcast wants to try to look into picking you up as a pretty regular kind of guy there, buddy. So
Yep, I'll be on first thing in the morning. That's the Awake Nation.
Yeah, Miss Penny Shepherd.
Yep, out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm good. I'm glad that they picked you up. I don't really have regulars like that. However, if something happens and you want to come back, I'll probably, odds are I'll probably talk to you again like this. Hopefully not like this, but like this.
Hopefully not like it started off.
Right. Prior to the event. But again, I myself want to say I'm looking forward to it. I want that whether they can be there, at least purchase a ticket and be there via live stream.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
It's going to be very important, and it'd be well worth your while.
Absolutely.
A lot of information.
All right, Mr. Jesse Beltran, here's the key. Nobody comes to the Matrix Minds, my friend, without saying something positive. So you are no, you can't get away with this one. You can't just run away. You've got to say something Nope.
Well, as a Debbie Downer that this may be interpreted at or inferred, just remember knowing your inner voice, knowing your internal compass is the first start of heading in the right direction. And ultimately, I know deep within my heart that as long as we wake up and we work together, that the mighty programmer above, which we call God, is laughing at these guys, and ultimately we will win. So on that note, I wish everyone a good night.
Jess, appreciate you, buddy. And Miss Bonnie, shout out to her, because if it was not for Miss Bonnie, I would not happen to be with you tonight. So she's the lady that made this happen. Shout out to Desiree.
Yes, she is, and we love her.
I appreciate you for being up in here, supporting Jess, Bonnie, and every single one of you. So with that being said, Jess, please have a good night, and you and I will talk another day. You hear me?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, my friend.
All right, bud. Take care of yourself.
Stay blessed.
Bye.
You too.
Okie dokie, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, gals and goons all over this great planet we call dirt. Great time once we got it rolling. So I definitely appreciate Jess for sharing what he shared. And again, like I said in the beginning of the broadcast, I hope to God that he does not end up becoming more of a target for simply sharing what he shared with you. It has happened. Okay? It has happened. Miss Desiree, I want to connect with you myself and talk to you personally about what happened to our friend Robert Duncan. I think through Mike have shared with you that I wanted to somehow, I myself was going to work on doing a tribute show to Robert and talking about Robert and his life and everything that he shared. He shared some great things with me, some great things with you. So again, this was a targeted individual whistleblower at the very, very top of the system. Okay, and his was programming things from literally went from as a Department of Defense engineer to a DARPA insider and engineer that has had hands-on, right? And then coming out saying, I can't do this shit anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm doing this to my kids. I'm doing this to my people. So again, he is very much so worth sharing some very positive and reflection on in my eyes. So I appreciate you, Desiree, for being up in here and sharing with Mike to share to me what you did. And again, I will work with you and we'll put something together here real soon, okay? And hopefully it goes a lot smoother than what the hell happened tonight. Wow. But nevertheless, that's just what happens. That is absolutely what happens whenever you start rattling cages like this. This happens. Shout out to every single one of you guys, military, ABCs, boots on the ground. I'll just say everything from special forces to the men and women in uniform on the front line at the hospital, okay? If you put on a uniform of any type to bear service to humanity, I want to give a shout out to you and thank you. And those on the front line as well. Shout out to Mr. Larry Hawkins. I'm going to dedicate this song is coming up, and I really, really, really want you to listen to it and pay attention to the words, because listen to you. Once you have got the knowledge of what and to the level that you've got, you cannot unsee what you've seen. You cannot unknow what you've known. So again, shout out to every single one of you guys that have got eyes wide open. This song is called Just a Masquerade. It's pretty much waking up to the illusion, and you can't go back to sleep. Till Wednesday, you guys take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and I'll catch you here at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock West Coast Time. Coming at you, Brainiacs. Again, Just a Masquerade, eyes wide open. Good night, everybody.
I was sent to the front lines and I fought without a clue.
Pay attention, Mr. Hawkins.
All that the God, the guts and glory, until I saw the truth behind the veil of the stars and stripes. A darkness side revealed, where pawns in their game, for power they'll never yield. Awake now, eyes open wide, no longer blinded by their lies. This land of the free, it's just a masquerade. It's just a masquerade for the powerful few. A sacrifice is made. They paint us as heroes, but we're really their expendable tools, sent to fight their battles in wars like ignorant fools. But I won't march to their beat, won't